Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with week 8 of the Smogon Premier League. So, if you guys didn't know, I'm on the Tyrants, which is team with like Blunder, CTC, just a few familiar faces obviously. But this week I'm playing Mop, aka Era Blackdial. Now, Mop is, basically he is a veteran in the game, and he's really good. He's known for bringing whatever the hell he wants and doing pretty well with it. So, as far as prep went for this week, I noticed that the 3 games he played this year in RU, basically for the Smogon Premier League, he brought Registeel. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna bring Block, Dragon Dance for Alligator, and basically go all in. So I was definitely matchup fishing hard going into this game, because I really wanted to. First off, I wanted to use this. It's really fun, but yeah. So that was like the game plan behind the team. Use Block, Dragon Dance, Rest for Alligator. You block Registeel as they toxic you, and then you just Dragon Dance, Rest, stall them out, get to +6, and win games. However, a little joke between me and the team, I basically said, hey, if he doesn't bring this Gator, it's a wrap. I'm playing this 5-6, or if he doesn't bring the Registeel. But yeah, so it turns out Mop obviously did not bring the Registeel this game. So yeah, if you guys don't like this style of narration, by the way, feel free to check out the replay in the description. So looking at team preview, typically what I do is I write notes when I play. So this is like the first thing I wrote, just to show you guys. Just to show you guys. Ignore my crappy handwriting. I have to write it pretty fast while I'm doing this, and there's more notes here. I have like an entire game plan and everything showed out, but I wrote this before the game, and I wrote this so I remember just in case he brought Goliathbot, and then this was the first thing I wrote when I saw team preview. But yeah, so looking at it, looks like he brought Sticky Web Offense, so I'm assuming it's Sash or Cuss That Barrier Arachnid, either Offensive Life Orb Agility Gross / Z, or Shookaberry Rocks with Explosion to prevent defog. Could be set up Necrozma or Rocks Necrozma. There's only 2 Machamp sets that run around. Either Guts, which was very likely considering it is a Sticky Web team, or Assault Vest, Choice Scarf, or Specs Gardevoir. I think Scarf makes a lot of sense, and if that is Scarf, because it provides healing with support for Machamp, for Necrozma, basically for the entire team. And then either Banded or like Dragon Dance Tyrantrum. I don't think it'd be Scarf on a Sticky Web build. So looking at matchup, gonna be a little bit tough for sure. I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to lead off with, right? So if I lead Noivern and he leads Arachnid, I have basically the best lead possible, either that or Machamp, right? However, if he leads Gardevoir, Tyrantrum, even Metagross, even Necrozma, like I don't enjoy that a lot. So looking at it, I really wanted to lead with Metagross because it dealt with any of his Psychic types, 3 Psychic types. It dealt with any of them, and if he led Arachnid, I could obviously just hard switch into my Noivern here. It also, you know, checked Tyrantrum as well, which could be a problem. So I am Assault Vest on my Metagross as well. Endgame game plan, I'm hoping that my Noivern is able to keep off hazards. My Rhyperior needs to stay healthy because it needs to check both Metagross and Tyrantrum in this game, especially if it is an offensive Metagross. And I think my Choice Scarf BEWEAR, if I can get rid of... I am Choice Scarf BEWEAR, by the way. I think my Choice Scarf BEWEAR, if I can keep off Sticky Web, can be very good at checking, you know, a weakened Necrozma, a weakened, or even Tyrantrum in general. So that'd be pretty cool. And BEWEAR actually soft checks Metagross as well, depending on the set. So I ended up leading off with my Metagross, as he ended up leading off with his Gardevoir. This is fantastic. Now, the only reason you lead off a Gardevoir in a team that has Metagross as its only Gardevoir answer is if you are running Will-O-Wisp on Gardevoir. So I do have Pursuit on this Metagross, but because I am Assault Vest, it wouldn't do anything to Gardevoir anyway. I decided to just hard Meteor Mash. Very little drawback from going for that. 2 resistances, either Metagross, which I like being weakened because Earthquake from Rhyperior doesn't knock it out, or Arachnid, which I break a potential Sash. So I go right for Meteor Mash, and this also covered the Will-O-Wisp play, as he does go for the turn 1 Will-O-Wisp, and I get some beautiful damage off on Gardevoir. This is nice because Meteor Mash into Pursuit guarantees that literally every single attack from any of my Pokemon will knock out this Gardevoir. So I go for Pursuit here, as he brings out his Arachnid. This allows me to get in my Noivern now. Noivern could obviously go for the Defog as he goes for Sticky Web. Now again, I'm thinking this is either Focus Sash or Cuss That Berry. I opt to Defog immediately as he brings out Gardevoir. which is a very good play. Obviously forces me out, scares me, and I'm going to bring out my Metagross in retaliation because Pursuit guarantees a KO on Gardevoir. Him knowing that, and Gardevoir's still really good, right? Even despite being at 10%, because unless I get up rocks, it still checks BEWEAR, checks Noivern, can Healing Wish into something as well. So I go Metagross, he makes the good double, going right back out into Araquanid. And this is good because it's forcing a Metagross and forcing burn damage. Of course, I'm going to make the Noivern play once again as he goes for Sticky Web. And he basically conditioned me to go for the Defog right here, so he goes for a nice Toxic. So that's a smart play. Because of the Defog, my Hurricane is basically going to hit this Araquanid, so I decided to actually throw off a Flamethrower. It does one of two things. Hurricane pops him into Cut-Step Barrier range, so Flamethrower either breaks his Sash or catches Metagross right there as he goes for another Sticky Web. And right here, I decided to throw off Hurricane first before defogging, because I'm assuming the way he's playing it, that it is definitely a Cut-Step Barrier set. And I actually get the confusion here, which I didn't notice during the game, but it's very, very important, because basically right here, one of two things can happen. He could stay in, and his Cut-Step Barrier pops, and he doesn't hit himself in confusion. And he goes for liquidation. I obviously would always go for defog at that case because it's just guaranteed, essentially, unless he dies, of course, and hits himself in confusion, and I don't get the defog off. But basically, I expected a Cut-Step Barrier to potentially pop here. Him hitting me with liquidation, doing about 40-something%. I defog, and then I outspeed him next turn and knock him out with whatever. But because of the confusion, he actually switches out. And he tells me later that he actually had Ice Beam on this Araquanid, so this confusion was pretty important. Because I'm able to defog here as he goes Metagross. Now, I want to keep my Noivern around just because it's still something that can take a bullet punch from Machamp, and I can hit it with Z-Fly, hit this thing with Z-Fly too. I opt to go out to Rhyperior, anticipating this to either be Rocks Metagross or the or setup, right? Agility. Now, he could have doubled back out to Araquanid, but I wouldn't mind because Cut-Step Barrier would pop right there, so that'd be okay. And I could still defog on literally every member besides Araquanid or Gardevoir. Because Araquanid would obviously just spam Sticky Web. Gardevoir could obviously outspeed me. So I go Rhyperior, he goes for the agility. Now, I have a few choices right here. Meteor Mash, if it's not Life Orb, will do only about 40%, 30-something%, because Rhyperior is Solid Rock, is Hard Body. And I can go for Rocks. Now, if I go for Rocks, I knock out Araquanid, I knock out Gardevoir. He doesn't have those as pivots, but if it is Life Orb Metagross with Zen Headbutt, it becomes a huge problem. If it's Zen Headbutt anyway, it becomes a huge problem. So if I go for the Earthquake and he ends up being like Weakness Policy, it can become a problem for Rhyperior, right? Because obviously Meteor Mash into a Weakness Policy boosting Meteor Mash would knock me out. I actually still opt to go for Earthquake. Even if he was Corkscrew Crash, he wouldn't knock me out from full. And had I went for Rocks and he went for this Meteor Mash here and he was Weakness Policy, or even either way, I'd still have to go for it, right? If I go for Rocks first and then take the double Meteor Mash, I'm really low, which means that Tyrantrum can be very, very, very threatening to me. So I opt to go for the Earthquake. It does activate his Weakness Policy right here. And what I'm going to do is go out to my Gator, because my Gator is very defensive. So I wanted to see if he has Thunder Punch or Zen Headbutt by doing this. If he did have Zen Headbutt, I had to go Shaman after and then go for Seed Flare. If he went for Thunder Punch here, he doesn't have Zen Headbutt. He's probably Meteor Mash, Thunder Punch, Earthquake. So I go Gator, and it turns out he does have the Thunder Punch, which means I can go safely into BEWEAR. He doesn't have Zen Headbutt. His best play is to hit me with Earthquake because of my Fluffy ability, and I can go for my Earthquake back and knock out Metagross. So, and he doesn't find out that I'm Scarf BEWEAR at all. So right here, he brings out Gardevoir. Gardevoir's at 10%. You know I can go Metagross, and you know I can Pursuit Trap you. So what I opt to do is actually go out into my Noivern. This does one of two things. First off, if he Healing Wishes and brings back Araquanid, I have my Z-Fly Noivern in versus an Araquanid, and I get a Z. I either get to nuke Araquanid, or I get some nice damage off on Tyrantrum, nuke Machamp, or I do a lot of damage to Necrozma. So I make the Noivern play as he goes right for the Moonblast here. I die. However, it allows me to bring out my Metagross and Pursuit Trap him. But this is my thought process right here. The way Pursuit mechanics work is this turn, if he wants to switch out, he has to click a Pokemon no matter what. So I'm assuming this is what happened for him this turn. This turn, again, like I said, he has to click Pokemon if he switches out. So he switched out into Araquanid to bait my Pursuit. Now, I call that play. And instead of going for Pursuit here to knock out Gardevoir, because if I knocked out Gardevoir, he'd be able to bring out Araquanid after and get up webs, I actually go right for the raw Meteor Mash, just straight for the Meteor Mash as I catch Araquanid. As I said, the way Pursuit mechanics work, the turn doesn't continue. So Gardevoir would die, and he'd be able to get a free switch after into potentially Cut-Step Barrier Araquanid, getting up hazards versus me. I I had Bullet Punch on Machamp either, but I don't think it was knocking out Arachnid, especially not with the burn. But yeah, I went right for the just aggressive Meteor Mash as opposed to Pursuing, because even if he didn't go Arachnid, I got damage off on Machamp, I got damage off on Necrozma. Yes, I am burnt, but that damage is very, very important for Shaman Seed Flare, which is incredibly deadly versus my opponent's team, or even my BEWEAR's Double Edge. So I get the Meteor Mash play right on the Arachnid coming in. He's going to bring out his Necrozma, as I'm going to bring out my Shaman right here. Now, obviously, he could have went for Heat Wave, if anything, but if he was like a Calm Minding set, I needed some damage with this. If he went for Earth Power there, I needed damage anyway, right? Like, I couldn't go Rhyperior to scout for. He ended up going for Rocks, which makes sense because if he is Z on Tyrantrum, or if he's Z on this is bad too. Like, I have to scout for the Z on this too, but if he's Z Tyrantrum, he wants as much damage off on my Rhyperior as possible, so Rocks actually, like, ensure, like, damage on that, but again, I bring out Shaman, and as he goes for Stealth Rock, I thought maybe a Rock Polish might come out, or I don't know, Earth Power was what I was looking at or thinking about. Earth Power I think makes a lot of sense considering it hits like Registeel hard and everything. But I go for Sub here because if he's Shattered Psyche, my Shaman will take too much. As he ends up going for Rock Polish, which is amazing because now what I can do is go for Leech Seed, and basically I wear down this Necrozma. I'm trying to wear it down to either Double Edge range or Seed Flare range. So I wear down this Necrozma, and I can safely go out to my Metagross as he does reveal the Heat Wave. Had he Heat Waved originally, would have been very, very deadly for me. But I think he expected me to sack Rhyperior or something there. Or maybe anything like BEWEAR, and he can get up Rocks. But I'm able to bring out my Metagross as he does reveal the Heat Wave. Because of my Assault Vest and the Leech Seed recovery, I'm just out of range of the Heat Wave. And I get a free Meteor Mash as he brings out his Gardevoir as a sack. And I'm actually happy that thing got sacked. Because Gardevoir could have been a little bit annoying. But I land my Meteor Mash as I'm able to get rid of Gardevoir. Tyrantrum's going to come out. I'm assuming at this point, if the Necrozma's not Z, this is Z setup, right? Dragon Dance, Hone Claws, whatever, Double Dance, whatever it is, as he goes for Rock Polish. When I saw Rock Polish, I was like, okay, he's probably Rock Polish, Hone Claws, Head Smash. That's the set that I've used by Cole 49. Or he's Dual Dance. But my best play is just to stay in and get damage off on him, because any damage matters towards Rhyperior knocking it out with Earthquake. I know Rhyperior's out of range. And I get the Attack Raise. I don't know if that mattered at all, because I would just Meteor Mash again into Bullet Punch to knock him out if he tried to set up in front of me. Or Earthquake into Bullet Punch, rather. I go for Bullet Punch here because it denies all setup anyway, and it gets me chip damage on Tyrantrum, basically enticing it to stay out. Also putting it in range of Double Edge from BEWEAR, had it still been around. As he goes for the all-out pummeling here. So the second I saw all-out pummeling, this is when you know, okay, this Tyrantrum only has, it probably is Dual Dance, and he has Head Smash plus Sewer Power, plus Hone Claws or Dragon Dance, whatever it is. Hone Claws is what I was leaning towards. He actually told me later that it was Dragon Dance Rock Claws, but I was thinking it would be Hone Claws. And Sewer Power is like that all around with all out pummeling. It's something to cover like Bronzong and Steel types in general. So he went for all out pummeling there. I'm pretty sure he's just Sewer Power. I can bring out my Rhyperior, and again, this is why it was really important that I didn't go for Rocks earlier, because the Sewer Power after doubling Meteor Mash with Rocks up might have actually knocked me out. But able to survive it, gonna knock out Tyrantrum there. He's gonna bring out his Necrozma. At this point, I think that even if he Rock Polishes, I'm okay. I actually went for Toxic here just to wear down. I either went for Toxic or Earthquake. This part I don't remember. I think I either went for Toxic or Earthquake. But I think I went for Toxic just to wear him down, because Shaman could sub up on him. But he goes for Photon Geyser. That's going to knock me out, as I'm going to bring out Shaman. And once again, I'm just going to go for the Leech Seed. This is very important because I'm trying to put him in range of the Seed Flare, but also in range of my BEWEAR's Double Edge if it comes down to that. So I just need 2 turns of Leech Seed to ensure that. So and because of the Leech Seed recovery, I'm able to take his Heat Wave and get up a sub with my Shaman. So now he is in range of my Double Edge, as well as my Seed Flare. And if he is Custap on his Necrozma, he's out of range of that too. So yeah, I sub again as he's gonna go for another Photon Geyser. I don't have Rocks up, so again, nothing like Custap could activate anyway. And he's in range of Seed Flare. He's in range of my Photon Geyser. Now let's talk about this play real quick. So he hasn't seen a Z move from my team at all yet, right? Which means that my BEWEAR, he could either think that my BEWEAR could be 3 potential sets right here, right? In this end game. My BEWEAR could be Choice Band, my BEWEAR could be Z, and you know, the not so common Choice Scarf BEWEAR, which I actually am. So right here, if I knock out the Necrozma, right, with my Shaman Seed Flare, which I did go for, he has nothing to outspeed my BEWEAR. And if he goes Machamp after, all I need is like very, very, very little chip damage if I'm Choice Band or Z to knock it out with either a Choice Band Double Edge / Sewer Power or a Z Breakneck Blitz, right? So he makes the play to go Machamp. This is the winning play if I'm an ordinary or any ordinary BEWEAR set. This is the winning play, and he has no reason to assume that I'd be Choice Scarf. Like, he had to make this play anyway, right? So I go for Seed Flare, and he turns out to be Assault Vest. And basically, the reason this was the play is because unless I got a Spadef drop, I couldn't knock out Machamp. He takes my hit, knocks me out with close combat, and takes my hit, knocks me out with close combat, or Dynamic Punch, whatever it is. Usually Assault Vest Machamp is running Guts because it obviously can switch it on Skull Burns and take it. And then he just sacks this to BEWEAR. Necrozma comes in, outspeeds me, and knocks me out. However, because I know that I'm endgame Scarf BEWEAR, I just get off a little bit more damage. Some people were thinking that I threw because they were thinking I'm a normal BEWEAR, and I'm supposed to go for like double air slash flinch into Seed Flare to knock it out. But because I knew my endgame, and I was just calcing, I was literally just calcing the Bullet Punch recoil if he has it, and plus double edge recoil. I just need some damage more on this Machamp. I'm able to go for Seed Flare again. Gonna get him low enough to the point of BEWEAR. BEWEAR is gonna come in. It's gonna go for double edge. That's gonna knock out Machamp, and his last is that Necrozma. And like I said, I got it low enough to the point where Scarf BEWEAR, which does outspeed it, knocks it out. And that is a very, 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 very narrow 1-0 in my favor. So I actually ended up clinching the week for us. We were up 6-3, so 7 is a guaranteed win. But like I said, I think I said it in this narration, I don't know if I said it in this one, because I recorded with a different mic before and it just sounded like trash. I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go re-record this. But like I said, we had already guaranteed playoffs at this point, but I don't think I did say it, but we had guaranteed playoffs at this point. We're in first place and we're guaranteed playoffs, but this was a win that actually clinched the week, because now we won the week 7-3. There's still 2 more games that have to be played after me, but we already won the week 7-3. So I'm able to win the week for my team, and we are guaranteed in playoffs. Next week is week 9, which is the last week of regular season. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed. I thought this RU game was very, very, very good. Very calculated too, and just down to the wire. Of course, if you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Even Mop was like, stuff he PM'd me after how he knew what I was gonna bring and things like that too. I was like, whoa, bro, that's clean. And even here, he said good game, even if you are a Scarf. Because I know, I think the chat was talking about Joey choked, and it was no way it's Scarf BEWEAR. But yeah, I mean, that was a possibility, and I ended up being that set. So hope you guys all enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.